Since they couldn't buy the same steering shaft in Pakistan, they could only choose parts at the scrapyard. Thinking of the master, the steering shaft in front of them was severely deformed due to the flower sword groove. Ordinary additive welding would definitely not meet the requirements. The master was going to use round steel for docking. In order to facilitate the fixation with claws, the end cap and the shaft rod must be separated first, on the premise of recording the length of the flower sword with a caliper. Because the flower sword end could not be repaired, the master had to cut it at the step of the groove. Although they did not have a high-end cutting groove cutter, not slow, when the Rowan knife left a groove during processing, the cut surface needed to be processed smooth and flat to prevent the drill from jumping when drilling. For this kind of shaft rod splicing, the whole position of the axis is the key to the metal splicing. It can only make the concentric and coaxial positions of the two docking and increase the strength of the steering shaft. After the master simply cut out the groove, the processing of the steering shaft was completed. When this metal needs to be spliced, first, the missing cutting surface must be cut. Avergang needs to be inserted into the hole of the steering shaft, so the entire head needs to be cut until the steering elbow hole mirror and the boss outer diameter are completely consistent. After the master has simply tested and confirmed that they are correct, the burrs need to be polished with a wrong knife to reduce the difficulty of connecting the two. The other end of the Avergang needs to be processed with a flower sword groove. The two need to be directly spliced. The wolf head is used to knock it to make it completely fit the bottom of the hole, which is convenient for the lathe claw plate and the ejector to completely fix the Avergang. After that, the support mouth can be surfacing with welding rods. This is also because the outer diameter of the Avergang is very different from the elbow mirror. After the connection is completed, all the excess parts of the Avergang surface are cut and removed until the data of the two are completely consistent. After confirming that they are correct, the flower sword groove and the thread end are marked in sections according to the data measured by the previous tooth. The length of the steering shaft circle is restored. After the outer seam cutting of the thread end is qualified, the master also needs to process the original step of the flower sword groove to prevent the steering shaft from being used again. Then, according to the original pitch, the thread end is cut to produce a consistent outer thread. They did not use thread silicone for comparison. Ji Qiangong is also familiar with the process. After the work is completed, the rough characters on the surface are polished off with a wrong knife to avoid jamming when docking with Rome. Because their repair shop does not have a ruler cleaning machine, when the original flower sword end needs to be tested, the master has to cut it with a turning tool and drill the shaft core with a drill. When it is separated from the original Rowan end, the hollow flower sword end needs to be fixed on the steering shaft, and two thimbles are used to fix it completely. In this way, it can be processed according to the slot interval. In this way, the master can observe the slots cut more carefully when controlling the tool holder to move the tool. Although they do not have a professional ruler cleaning machine, they can reproduce the completely consistent flower sword slots with a comparison of the original factory slots. The master moves the tool holder repeatedly, and the flower sword slot on the surface is formed. After there is no error in the slot interval, the bare rod at the bottom needs to be installed back to its original position, so this scrapped steering shaft can be used again. What do you think of this repair technology?